It's beautiful. I am not this pristine and put together and sweet and innocent, but I will wear it as a costume. So today I want to share with you another sit and sniff with me from the Montblanc line. So we already did Gran Ballo, and the last one I did was Dolce Amalfi. You can check those out. This is my third one, and this is Dama Bianca. So as I've said before, I have not smelled the notes. You guys know this, you know the drill. I don't even know if it was even recording. Okay, great. So I think that was not even recording. So you guys, I'm just going to do a recap. This is so disappointing, but here we go. Dama Bianca by Xerjoff. I did the sniff first of it on my arm. I did not try it on paper. I tried it directly on my skin, and my first impressions of it were that it was a white floral with a sort of musky, clean, fresh laundry sort of vibe to it. A little bit powdery, a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of freshness, and it's a fruity white floral to me. Very sort of sophisticated and easygoing without it being a like gym scent or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's still sophisticated and classy, but definitely more like daytime. So in the notes, what we see here is it has kumquat, which I guess is what is lending the fruitiness. The lime, I definitely think, is what's adding that zingy sort of freshness to it. You have the iris and the violet, which are definitely going to be adding that powderiness. And I think I get a little bit of the lilac, a little bit of lily of the valley, which I think is lending that sort of clean laundry sort of scent to it for me as well. And then of course the jasmine in here. Very pretty. In the base you have vanilla, malt, ambrette or muskmallow, white musk, sandalwood, and cedar. So I think that white musk, vanilla, sandalwood, cedar base is very classy, it's very sophisticated, and I say that because it keeps coming up in very, very classy, sophisticated scents. They're really beautiful, very well balanced, very feminine. I find it very interesting that it has that malt note in the base, because that's the interesting part of the fragrance for me. So if I click on it, because I detect that malt, and I wouldn't have known before looking at the notes, but now that I look at the notes, I can tell that that's the interesting sort of facet of this fragrance for me. So malt is in the group of fruits, vegetables, and nuts. The odor profile is a savory scent reminiscent of roasted barley, beer, and whiskey. So it's definitely not beer or whiskey, it's more of that roasted barley malt sort of scent, but it still has the sweetness from the vanilla, from the white florals. It still has that fruitiness from the kumquat. Very pretty, very sweet as in like personality, like sweet. Remember, Montblanc is like a very expensive line. I don't think, some people would not think this was worthy of the price. To me, that's not necessarily how perfume works. It doesn't need to be complex for it to be worth a lot of money. It just needs to be good to me. Make a statement, have a personality, be good quality, long lasting. This is really pretty. The dry down is really pretty. So feminine and enveloping in this very like clean, sweet, musky, feminine sort of way. This is definitely a very, very expensive version of a staple signature scent. You know what I mean? It's beautiful. Like, so many things would layer well over this too. Like, I could totally imagine putting this on before a day where I'm going on errands and I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I want to feel nice and sweet and feminine and put together and pretty and beautiful without being like over the top in any way. You know what I mean? It's not glamorous. It's just sophisticated and clean and profesh. Yeah, I would totally wear this in the day and then like amp it up with something a little bit more sexy at night or mysterious. Really nice, really sweet. Let's see, what do people say it reminds them of? Interesting. Okay, so some people say it reminds them of gentle Fluidity Gold, and I will say it's not most people. There are much more thumbs down than thumbs up, but I do think it's worth noting that reminds me of in Fragrantica is all context dependent. So for someone who's only smelled 10 fragrances in their life, if it reminds them of something else, to a certain extent they're right. But if you've smelled hundreds of fragrances, that person could be making an association that's completely off to someone who's has a much more nuanced palette, right? And I think that's what can lend to a bit of confusion in the reminds me of category. And even for me, sometimes it throws me off because I'm like, okay, yes, I understand how it can remind me of that fragrance, but I don't want to thumbs it up because I don't want anyone to think that it's a dupe for that either, because it's not. Whereas sometimes it truly does feel like a dupe, you know what I mean? So making that distinction is a little bit, there's a little bit of like a blurry gray zone for that. And personally for me, I only thumbs up if I think of it as being almost a dupe. So if it just merely reminds me of the fragrance, I will not thumbs it up. But I totally understand why some people do, and I understand how it can be used for that too. It's just that for me, I use that panel in Fragrantica to find literal dupes or fragrances that are really, really, really similar, or that you can barely tell them apart, and not just merely similar scents, if you know what I mean. Gentle Fluidity Gold is definitely on my must try list. I've never tried it, but I do think it would probably be an instant love, and seeing this kind of only confirms it in the sense that, like, okay, it's might not be the same, but basically it's a nice, pretty, feminine vanilla, probably. Very pretty, lovely. I don't have anything in my collection that I think smells quite like this. Montblanc Signature, though, does have that same sort of very feminine, sweet, powdery sophisticatedness to it. This is also a powdery floral, but it reminds me a little tad bit, again, just a little bit, you know what I mean? Like if I look at my entire collection, this is the only thing I can think of that reminds me a little bit of it. Let's see if there's any comparable notes. Wait. Makes sense, because yeah, this one also has fresh, sweet, powdery, sweet, powdery, musky, floral vanilla. A lot of the similar chords, right? But it also has some yellow floral and some amber. This one has the clementine at the top. The other one had kumquat. And it has magnolia, ylang ylang, peony in the middle, and vanilla, musk, and benzoin in the base. So it has a little bit of something similar in that clean laundry, sophisticated, pretty way. So to me, like these scents, when I smell them, I really think of someone that's like very well put together. Not me. I will wear them and I enjoy them, but they are not me. I am not this pristine and put together and sweet and innocent and pretty and feminine. I'm just not. It's aspirational for me. But I will wear it as a costume. I will wear this as a costume. Absolutely. Perfume is a costume for me sometimes, you know, it's just for fun. So there you go, that's my review for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was useful to you. And I'd love to know what your thoughts are about Dama Bianca. I would love to know what your thoughts are even of the Signature. I have heard a little bit in the community about it. It seems like some people like it. And anything else you want to share with me. Thank you so much for watching. Until we see each other again, please take care of yourself, and I'll see you very soon.